woke up with my feet up. Seat back, outfit, 30,000 feet up. What you know? And you know how I link up. Get my homie up, told him what's up with the feature. I remember
21 Rockstar families, and welcome to our weekly VODCAST. I hope that you guys are having an absolutely extraordinary weekend. You know, as I was getting ready for the VODCAST this week, I could not believe that March 1st was a part of this week. This year has been absolutely flying by, if you can believe it or not. So, I have a couple of announcements, and then I'm going to get you guys right off to the strategy session for the week. First of all, I wanted to congratulate our Rockstar of the Week for this week, Ms. Nia Adams. Nia has been an extraordinary leader in our classroom and in academy each and every day, putting forth the extra effort, going the extra mile, and just being there for all of her classmates. So congratulations goes out to Nia Adams, this week's Rockstar of the Week. A couple of other announcements, guys. On the weekly newsletter, you'll notice that I've actually added a lot of new dates here. I try to paste some things out that are way far in the future, but things that you might want to put down in that calendar, including, crazy enough, middle school orientation, which is on April 11th. Now, we go during the day, but typically each middle school also has a parent portion in the evening. Our guidance counselor will be getting that information out to you guys very, very soon. Not that I want to say middle school whatsoever, because I'm not ready to let these guys go, but that is in the near future. Other than that, guys, on Wednesday we have a light and sound assessment coming up. You'll notice on the S'more update this week and also on our weekly strategy session on the class webpage, I've created a study video for scholars if they'd like to take or use that to help them prepare for the assessment coming up on Wednesday, and that's for light and sound. But at this time, guys, I'm going to get you guys off to the strategy session, and I'll see you on the other end. Hey, Room 21 Rockstars, welcome to our weekly strategy session at the home of Room 21 sites.google.com/staffordschools.net/Room 21 Rockstars. Hey, I have a bunch of different strategies for you guys to use at home this week, but first of all, I wanted to take you on over to our classroom page where you're going to find a couple of things. First of all, the Google Classroom question of the week is up and ready to go. Love this quote from what we were reading last week in terms of Lizzie and Looper taking some of the items from the city, from the storerooms, just because they could. So the quote is, and you can respond to it in any way you want. What that means, guys, is you can tell me what you think about it. Can you connect it to anything? Absolutely any response that you'd like. It says, still something was wrong with grabbing the good things just because you could. It seemed not only unfair to everyone else, but bad for the person who was doing it. What does that mean to you in terms of academy? What does that mean in the city of Ember? Just give it some thought, guys. Respond to it. Make sure you respond in complete sentences and you'll be ready to rock and roll. Here is a sound and light video, guys, that I made a couple of years ago. And it's still a good video because everything that we learned a couple of years ago is exactly what we learned this year. Now, if you hear any dates or anything from years past, just kind of push those aside. But what I want you to keep in mind is you can earn house points all throughout this as long as you show me your work. And I will say that throughout the video. We have our sound and light assessment coming up on Wednesday in class. So that's available for you there, guys, to kind of get ahead with that as well. Then, as always, if you go on over to the newsletter tab, guys, and you check out the back of our newsletter, there are a couple of things on the back that will allow you to get ahead in class as well. If you don't want to answer the Google Classroom question of the week online, you can always answer it just on a sheet of paper. It's available on the back of the newsletter there. And then finally, guys, we have some classification of triangles, which has been our most recent focus in class this past week. So that is all available there under the newsletter tab. Now, if you go on over to the weekly strategy session under VODCAST, you're going to find some new materials that are up and ready to rock and roll, dealing mainly with triangle classification, which is still our major focus of the week, guys. Now, our VODCAST math review is available up on the chalk tray in our room and also available here. Now, with Review the Old, you'll find that there's some angle and work with the protractor, but then on the back we have the classification of triangles. Now here's what I did this time, guys. I provided this chart right here for you. So remember, we said it's kind of like your first name, middle name. Like you have a first name, you have a middle name. Every triangle can be named in two different ways, and you have to take one name from the side length and one name from the angle measure. So you're going to take this triangle first, look at it, determine is it equilateral, isosceles, or scalene by looking at the sides. Now, in this case, guys, they've already told you the lengths of the sides, 2 centimeters, 6 centimeters, and 7 centimeters. Therefore, all three sides are different lengths. They're not congruent, so this is scalene. Okay, then I come down to this section and I take a look at the angles. Now remember, I said you might have to kind of turn some of these in your mind or kind of turn your head around because we have to determine what type of angles are here. Well, I see an acute angle, but this angle here appears to be obtuse. So that would make this an obtuse triangle. So this is a scalene obtuse triangle. So don't forget, guys, for each of these, you have to take one from the top row, one from the bottom row, and you may have to kind of move your head around, especially if they change the direction of that triangle. So I already did the first one for you, or along with you, so now you only have 5 more. What great practice that will be. So you're ready to rock and roll class this week, guys. Then you'll notice that I did add 2 IXL sites dealing with the classification of triangles as well. And I would continuously, guys, go right back to this chart right here to help you in your identification of those triangles. So as always, the weekly VODCAST review page is worth 20 house points. And then any problems that you complete on this IXL area, this week I'm going to give them 5 points apiece. As long as you go ahead and show me your work, write it down, and bring it into class. I also added a math antics video, guys, for triangles if you're still struggling with that. I kept up the geometry one, the angles math antics video, and now we have the triangles video. I think this guy does a really great job of explaining exactly what we're studying in class. And if you're still a little fuzzy with classifying triangles based on side length and angle measure, that's available there in that video. A great way to check that out. Under reading and writing, guys, I still kept up the blackout poem work because I still have scholars bringing them in. They're absolutely awesome. So every blackout poem that you complete will be worth 20 house points. That is available there. And then finally, guys, under science, I did, in another area here, put the sound and light study video. I would probably access it, if you want to access it here, it's absolutely fine. But you can also access it through our Google Classroom page. And I just put it up as an announcement. It's the very top announcement available on our page, guys, and that will be an easy way for you to go ahead and access it. So that's also available there as well. Now, the secret hashtag of the week, which I know you have all been waiting for. It will indeed be worth 10 house points. And the secret hashtag this week, guys, is hashtag the way out. Hashtag the way out. Say that with a little mystique, a little mysterious nature in your voice, and you'll earn the 10 house points for the week, guys. At this time, I'm going to get you guys back over to Mr. Reichard in person. Rockstar families, I hope that those strategies were effective and successful. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please do not hesitate to contact me. You guys are the very best families for real in Stafford County, Virginia, and I will see you all next week.
I woke up with my feet up. Seat back, outfit, 30,000 feet up. What you know?